This week, Crypto Trader is at Token2049, where you'll see Vitalik and Justin Sun in the same room here in Hong Kong, where the blockchain buzz is cooking. We talk to protocols, projects, funds and institutions who all say that we are firmly in the build phase. And a big debate from a special guest moderator you don't want to miss. Crypto Trader starts right now.
Crypto Trader is proudly brought to you by eToro. Discover a simpler way to trade and invest in cryptocurrencies and more.
Coverage of Token2049 is brought to you in part by Kinetic and DigiX. This week's edition of Crypto Trader comes to you from Hong Kong at the biggest event on the calendar called Token2049. This is an episode you don't want to miss. Crypto Trader kept at it here in Hong Kong, from Blockchain Week to Hybrid Summit and now Token2049. Our ever-growing Asia-focused team covered everything here and everything in between. Now, as you see, Crypto Trader covers the conference circuit globally like no other outlet. And yet, at each of these conferences, it's the same old story. Big names in front of big audiences making big announcements.
So right now we have 186 DApps according to the DApp radar.
There's booming booths, bold-faced brands, and market movers making their names known.
The Binance Chain mainnet is launching soon, be the decentralized exchange.
But recently, in actuality, attendance has dwindled, attendees revolving, and the storylines redundant. Some may say that it's cleared out some of the scammers. Others comment that it's just a long, winding crypto winter.
Well, I think that we're in the middle of crypto winter. There is a spring in sight, and it will come with regulatory clarity.
Still others say who's left here standing are the strong support systems. And there's a duality dwelling. Some scam headlines break, while the reputable names in the build phase keep building. From Fidelity to Coinbase, Binance to Bakkt, and as you'll see here, even Tron to Ethereum, this undercurrent in crypto is swelling and was in full force here in Hong Kong, from Blockchain Week to Token2049. It certainly began with a bang when Vitalik took the surprising center stage. And only Crypto Trader's crew was backstage to see it all, with our sponsors Jihan Chu's Kinetic and DigiX organizing the Ethereum Super Meet right here.
So where's everyone going? They're going to see Vitalik at the Super Meet. We're actually going backstage to see them prep. So we're going to turn the corner. A lot of buzz around this.
Vitalik has about 20 minutes on stage, followed by photograph. Okay, so order of flow is Singapore, Hong Kong.
Thank you everybody for all the enormous effort of doing all this, coming all this way. Thank you Vitalik for coming. And what we're here to do is basically convert that entire room of people into Ethereum fans and believers and community, and make sure that they're all going to go out and develop or create. All right? Yep. Congratulations everyone.
Last time we saw Vitalik was at Ethereum DevCon in Prague. And according to our team, he seemed more at ease, relaxed, and owning his stage presence. And while he was there to onboard the Asia Ethereum community as part of his Super Meet, as they called it, with teams from Korea, Japan, China, Singapore, and many more, there was a familiar face in the crowd, in what some on crypto Twitter called trolling, avocados and all, but what Justin Sun himself hinted at something else.
You were in the audience,
Yeah, exactly.
saw you there,
Yeah.
and were you trolling him, supporting him?
Yeah. First of all, I bring the avocado because Vitalik likes that, right? And second thing,
So it's a peace offering.
yeah, exactly.
All right, you heard it here first. Justin Sun was making a peace offering in the spirit of friendly competition. Is it about competition to you?
I think first of all, the competition between Ethereum and Tron breeds lots of the good results.
Competition or not, the name of the game right now for both founders is mass adoption. And Vitalik is bullish on that front.
Aside from the technicals, there's actually a lot of stuff in the ecosystem that I've been kind of very encouraged by recently. First of all, there's all of these kind of quote decentralized finance, DeFi, DeFinance, open finance, whatever your favorite buzzword is, things like the decentralized exchanges, things like MakerDAO, recent stablecoins that have been emerging, large-scale user onboarding. So browsers, Brave, Opera has some Ethereum wallets built in, phones, that announcement from Samsung recently, and that's something that we are probably going to see more of.
Tron's tools for mass adoption? Mass giveaways, it seems. Justin Sun announcing they'll be giving away $20 million to those migrating to the new Tron Tether pair, plus a new Tesla to one lucky winner who retweets his tweet.
In my Twitter, both in my Twitter.
Look, in all honesty, some would say that that's a bit of a marketing ploy and hype. What do you say to that?
I don't think so, because the Tron blockchain is faster, smarter, and at the same time, we have lots of the user case compared to the OMI blockchain. And also, this is completely free.
One of the big challenges in crypto and in blockchain is mass adoption. How and why?
Everyone knows BitTorrent is the largest file transfer protocol in the world. We have 100 million monthly active users, so which means we will bring 100 million monthly active users into the blockchain industry.
So all this wasn't the only news. All day long, back and forth, left and right, projects, protocol, exchanges, stablecoins, wallets, and many more made headlines, announcements, advancements, and of course news.
Around the conference there's always tons of new launches and new product launches, new partnerships being released.
According to the organizers, it was the place to start in Asia to make headlines.
Great lineup. We have many amazing projects. From Tron, we have Charles Hoskinson from Cardano. We have obviously Charlie Lee from Litecoin. So many of the big players are here.
So our ever-expanding Asia-focused team was there to talk to all the big players and sift through all the headlines, even in Chinese, given that we were in Hong Kong.
真的吗？
真的。
我们可以告诉我们的那个说普通话的人。
First up, the protocols. Ontology is expanding its enterprise blockchain solutions to now a slew of video platforms.
So speaking of enterprise level user case scenarios, can you give us some examples maybe?
Yeah, currently, for example, just finished Fusion Group's loyalty points scenario. They have more than 100 million users for this kind of loyalty points. We just digitalize the loyalty points on top of the blockchain. And also we talk about the huge group in China for the supply chain tracking and different things.
Hashgraph is promising its own enterprise solutions and teamed up with firms as big as DLA Piper.
So for mass adoption, it's huge. We are putting together a governing body that is representative of the entire market, and at the same time, we're making a promise to the market for some legal and technical reasons that our platform will never hard fork or split into competing platforms with competing cryptocurrencies. Every other project in the market today is purely open source, and as a result, everyone knows they're going to split into competing products and competing networks, and that creates chaos and risk for anybody that's serious about building an enterprise-grade application on top.
For these protocols, it may not just be the build phase.
Are we finally out of the building phase and into the deployment?
Well, I mean, we launched. One of the most bizarre notions in the space is that we're just a white paper or we're not even launched or we're just a test net. Cardano's been in mainnet since September of 2017. It's just we're going from a federated system like Ripple to a fully decentralized system where the users are in control. I say 100 times more decentralized in Bitcoin, about 50 times more decentralized in EOS. So it's almost mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Strong words. And strong moves. Binance isn't just launching its own decentralized exchange, it's launching its own blockchain.
The mainnet is launching pretty soon?
Yes. 就是 Binance Chain 我们自己的主链. So the Binance Chain mainnet is launching soon. And the first application based on it will be the decentralized exchange.
On the mass adoption side, there's a swell of launches happening. In big news, eToro, Crypto Trader's title sponsor, launched its crypto trading platform live in the US on its massive platform.
We are going to offer eToro in US, and now we make it, right? So now we can offer fiat to crypto buying in US. And the second announcement is like we actually offered the wallet last year. And now, like all our clients and customers can actually buy crypto using their credit card in our wallet.
Abra, who Vitalik mentioned, has launched its service enabling investors worldwide to purchase US equities using Bitcoin.
Right, so we're talking about taking crypto and getting access to traditional investments. With the new equity products, we're really targeting people who don't have easy access to Western investments. So that means China, it means Southeast Asia, Mexico, India, Russia, Turkey even. The pre-registrations have really shown we're getting a diverse set of interests from all over the world, but Asia in particular. That's a huge breakthrough for Bitcoin. And I think that's going to ultimately change the sentiment because we're leveraging Bitcoin in a way that's going to also drive institutional adoption long term because they're going to provide the liquidity that our consumers need.
Are they really?
Absolutely, which in turn is going to drive massive institutional liquidity. And the two are going to feed on each other over time. And Abra is not the only company doing this.
Interbankcorp, who Abra even hosted a mass adoption meetup with, where Bancorp made headlines of its own.
But what we're aiming for is the mainstream consumer.
Bancorp launched its unified wallets that lets users convert any token on the ETH blockchain to any token on the EOS blockchain.
So in the background, this is very complex and new technology, but when you move into decentralized exchanges, when you want the conversions to happen on smart contracts and not inside the vaults of exchanges, which are vulnerable in different ways, the technology becomes much more nuanced.
What's it all mean?
So what it means is that as we go forward into a world of hundreds of thousands and eventually millions of tokens, we're no longer going to be able to rely on exchanges to facilitate token conversions. Tokens are really a container for value. And now that they're programmable, thanks to smart contract blockchains, we expect everyone to be making them to achieve different use cases.
Another use case, crypto loans. Alex Mashinsky from Celsius was there advertising a 7% interest to Celsius's 65,000 active users and hodlers. More on that later in our debate and if it's viable.
And today we're announcing that we just crossed $1 billion in loans, so that's more than all the other guys put together. We're earning as high as 7.5%, so like if you have Dash with us, you get paid 7.5%. If you have a Litecoin, you get paid 7%. It's a very simple idea. It's not like that's what banks used to do 50 years ago. Your community banks used to give you stuff back.
Also, All Ears is Social Alpha, a first in the blockchain arena. A Hong Kong-based non-profit issuing grants exclusively to blockchain-based social impact projects. Its co-founders issued the first grant to the Yale Innovation Lab, tackling climate change and carbon emitters.
So one of the things that we like to focus on here at Crypto Trader and in my report specifically is blockchain for social impact and blockchain use cases. Nydia, tell us the impetus for getting into blockchain for social impact.
It's very important to really start to build a voice about blockchain for social impact, and then also it's important to cultivate and recruit the first generation of blockchain philanthropists at a very early stage.
And now you're giving a grant to this gentleman from the Yale Innovation Lab. What is the grant for, Martin?
The grant is for developing a project around understanding the merits of blockchain in global carbon and climate accounting, and actually building solutions around it.
So Martin, it sounds like it's a way to essentially hold those accountable in the climate change debate and tracing it to its source, the emitters, yeah?
To some extent, first, we're all accountable to climate change. We're all part of it. And that's why we focus on a global sense. But yeah, there's a lot of work that has been done on the blockchain space on supply chain and provenance. And so we can also try to keep track of where are the sources of emissions by looking at, for example, the entry point of fossil fuels into the energy system. But on the other side, tracking climate action pledges and how they progress over time, so that there is accountability.
So if you're out there and you want to track their progress and hold them true to their mission, you can go to socialalphafoundation.org and openlab.yale.edu.
Thanks, Adrian. Now let's follow him and take a look around at who's here attending the conference.
Here at Token2049, we're at the Kerry Hotel in Kowloon Bay, which is kind of like the new startup scene here in Hong Kong. We're in a bear market, but as you can see and take a look around, we can pan this way. We got Lawrence Digital here hosting drinks. Everybody, how's it going? Lawrence, real quick, how's Token2049?
Token2049 is a really good conference, and I love Hong Kong.
Cheers. And as I said, we're in Kowloon Bay, so we're across from Hong Kong Island. So let's go talk to some people here. How's Token2049?
Token2049 has been amazing. This is my first blockchain conference in Asia, and so it's a different vibe from conferences in America, I feel.
Here at Token2049, we see a lot of interconnectedness. So Crypto Trader's been all over. We've been to your offices, Saga's offices in Tel Aviv.
Here I think that it's more mature. You can really
have like solid conversation, valuable conversation, and I think that for us it's really, really valuable.
We're in a bear market. Do you feel it here?
Yeah, definitely.
So let's take a look inside at Token2049.
It feels like a real crypto OG gathering. There's great founders here from a lot of the most senior projects in the space.
The hallway conversations, which is usually the funnest part for me of these events, has been awesome. What gets me really excited is when people get into small groups and start doing deals and business together. I think that's awesome.
I mean, I think with crypto, everyone just constantly wants to go to conferences to check in on, what's going on, what everyone knows, what the leaders in the industry are seeing, what's like coming up next.
I think that the conversations that we're having are really oriented around application development, real utility, and real business.
So as we walk in, you take a look around, and there really isn't a shortage of people. You've got Kinetic come through, Circle, CoinMarketCap, who we had on the show last week. We've got Ken Bozak. I mean, Ken, you're known as a crypto enthusiast for sure, but you're still enthusiastic in this bear market. I mean, for real?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I don't have as much Bitcoin as I would like, so as far as the price goes, yay. If it keeps going down, I can accumulate more.
And you are a true believer, tatted up in crypto. Take a look at this, guys. Litecoin, Bitcoin, Dash, Decred.
And Monero.
Last year you saw it was more about ICOs, it was more about this monetary aspect. This year, like I said, it's really more about the projects itself.
If you compare it to the conferences last year or the year before that, maybe there's less people, but the quality is higher.
How's Token2049?
Great, couldn't be better, seriously. A lot of energy, great vibes, great people.
That's the sentiment on the floor. Coming up, the big debate on Bitcoin and more with a special guest moderator, moderating Alex Mashinsky, Tone Vase, and Saifedean. Stay tuned. Back here at 2049, we see Dave Chapman and Jihan Chu, two of the local Hong Kongers overseeing the action. Despite the crypto winter, it seems there's business being done.
It's interesting to see that everybody's down here in the kind of the business area, whereas upstairs there are less people in this bigger room. But it's good that people are doing business here.
Yeah, I tried to do my best to G them up this morning, but anyway, we're going to see a price uptick in Ethereum as a result.
If Jay Clayton can't make the Ethereum price uptick, I don't know what can. Adoption, man. It's all about adoption.
Price action. Something Hong Kong knows well as Asia's financial capital, and it seems to be ever turning towards crypto, according to plenty of the community.
你觉得香港的市场怎么样? What do you think of the Hong Kong blockchain market here?
其实这个区块链的市场它是一个 global 的。
So for me, the Hong Kong blockchain scene is absolutely the most vibrant in the world. Here in Hong Kong, it's certainly the crossroads for blockchain.
Progressive types of regulation with the SFC's regulatory sandbox. And its real openness to blockchain companies, it still has a very strong position of maintaining its lead as the financial hub of Asia.
Hong Kong, the SFC are looking to regulate crypto in the future. So that's something that we're monitoring very, very closely because we think it presents lots of opportunities for institutions.
From our perspective, Hong Kong is sort of the gateway to the Greater Bay Area in mainland China. 10 major cities or regions that create a huge economic zone. Hong Kong is sort of the center, sort of the launching ramp.
So New York's more like, let me show you why you should give me your money. And a lot of the projects I met here were actually like, let me show you why you should give me your attention.
So this is my first time in Hong Kong, but I've been really blown away. Really impressed with just the commitment of everybody I've talked to here in Hong Kong. Their commitment to pushing this technology forward, to pushing this industry forward for the betterment of humanity and themselves as well.
Yeah, Hong Kong doesn't have a lot of projects, but Hong Kong has a lot of capital, right?
When a crypto company needs to come to the east, they either go to Hong Kong or Singapore. Singapore is cool, but if you want to hit the Chinese market, if you want to be closer to Japan, if you want to be closer to Korea, Hong Kong's a good base.
And Hong Kong has a lot of amazing people too. And Hong Kong people don't bullshit too. So if you're talking to the right good people, you may as well get something done.
And it really feels like a gateway to Asia. The landscape, the horizon is really like a feat of human endeavor and productivity.
And how's the view?
It's great. I actually came here 1 year ago today. I saw this view and I'm like, we should probably open an office here. So
enough about Hong Kong. Before we go, there was one last debate to have with the MC of the conference, someone who I've battled it out with on Twitter, our guest moderator, Peter McCormack. He's engaging with Tone Vays and his Bitcoin maximalist buddy, Saifedean, in a debate with crypto believer Alex Mashinsky. A real crypto trader treat.
Thanks, Ram. We've got a powerhouse roundtable here. We've got Alex Mashinsky, we've got Tone Vays, and we've got Saifedean Ammous. And we're here to talk about Bitcoin and crypto. So hi guys, nice to see you all again. I interviewed Andreas recently, and he said if you don't understand Bitcoin, you don't understand money. If you don't understand Ethereum, you don't understand software. And I've been a sympathizer with maximalism, but I can't help but see that things are being built on Ethereum and are being used. So we find it very difficult to discount that. How do you feel about that, Alex?
So Ethereum has a first wave, which was all ICOs, and I agree with Tony on that most of those are failures. But just remember, from the entire internet experiment of 25 years, all we got is 5 great companies. The Ethereum has a second wave, a second killer app, and that is stablecoin. In my view, it's not security tokens, it's not NFTs. The use case for stablecoins is very solid. We're seeing, like in Celsius, we have 6 different stablecoins, and we're seeing a flooding of coins coming in. We're paying 7.1%, so there's a good reason for people to take their dollars, convert to stablecoin, and deposit them.
For me, I'm considering the bear market to continue because people still have not learned their lesson. We're still seeing ICOs pop up because of certain influencers or certain names. Now, my view is there is like 3,000 altcoins. If 1 or 2 survives, and you can debate me on 1 or 2 surviving, that's a reasonable debate. What you can't debate me on is which 1 or 2 they're going to be, because no one knows.
Yeah, and I think, the case for stablecoin, there may be a use case for it, but if you're going to do it properly, it's going to have to be centralized. And the idea that you're going to run a stablecoin in a way that is decentralized is just more of the sort of decentralization fetish that we have in this industry, where people think of it as just necessary, decentralization as a goal in itself. But ultimately, I disagree on this issue, because for all of the 3,000 coins that we have, and for all of the talk about the innovation, and for all the people really, really trying hard to portray it as if it's just this new internet and all of these, that it has to be like 1994, and we have to have 10,000 companies, and we're going to have to eventually get out. Well, no, we don't have to get 5 big companies out of it. And in fact, from the internet, we didn't get 5. We get thousands of successful companies that produced real use cases that were successful and that made money. All of this money going into all of these things that are likely to fail, I think is just a symptom of easy money. In a world in which we had harder money, people will be far more careful. And we won't have easy money forever. Eventually, we will have tighter monetary policy, or we will have a collapse that brings about harder money. No, it's not sustainable. You can't have easy money forever. Or,
had it forever.
No, you can have it forever yourself, but you can't stop others from moving to harder options now that we have a harder option that is Bitcoin.
Okay, you got your turn. A centralized stable coin is a definition of what JP Morgan is delivering.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think it's a silly idea.
They stole a copy of Ethereum, they called it Quorum or something else, they put it in a private blockchain and gave it to their rich friends, okay? That is the opposite of what the blockchain revolution, decentralization...
Can
I finish for a second? Can I finish? Let me finish for a second. So, do we need more than one use case? Of course we need more than one use case, but I'll give you an example. Celsius Network pays interest once a week. We can put 1 billion people on the Ethereum platform using Celsius, we are an ERC20 token, and we can support that application tomorrow. There's no problem with scale.
So why are you using it?
We are using it exactly because of that. We're using it because the only way today for everybody on the planet to earn 7% interest, 7 times more than the bank, is using the blockchain, using Bitcoin, using stable coins.
You realize you just said something that's impossible, right? Everyone on the planet to earn 7% interest, right? You realize you just said that, right?
Impossible.
It is impossible. The money doesn't grow on trees. You can't give everyone 7% a year.
The bank earns 24% on your money.
So, let's make sure we can all be heard.
The point is, their business, the business model is taking your money and giving it to someone else. Okay? Insurance broker kept 95% of your value.
The problem with this is very typical in this space. Exactly. Let's call bull. People identify real problems in the world and then present some sort of nonsensical vision of, a beautiful world in which everyone pays 9 and everyone receives 7%, and somehow that's supposed to be a solution. It's not a solution. Yes, banks do take advantage of people. The reasons are institutional and political.
Can they pay 7% today without losing money?
There are a lot of things wrong with banking.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
I'm just here to point out the ridiculous notion that you're not going to offer 7%.
Yes or no?
This is just another blockchain nonsense
and not lose money. Yes. The answer is yes.
Okay. I think
they just don't want to.
I think you both made your points.
They can steal from you continuously, and they don't have to.
But I don't think we're going to get a useful conversation or shouting at each other.
Try it out.
So we're going to try something a little bit different. Okay. What are you all looking forward to over the next year in the world of either Bitcoin or crypto? I'm most excited about seeing the growth of Lightning Network, seeing some of the challenges being overcome. What are you guys looking forward to? And no arguing. You can go first, Alex.
So, look, we need scale in the community. I think I'm looking for the breakout application that brings millions of new users that are first-timers, right? The people who are struggling, the people who need an alternative, the people that cannot go to their bank and get, or they don't have identity, right? All those things are things that the blockchain can solve. Bitcoin is a great store of value today, so it's a great application. Ethereum is a great smart contract platform, but we need other things that are going to bring that billion people into this.
Thank you. Tone.
All right. I'm also looking forward to a lot of the technological features of Bitcoin. Really looking forward to Lightning so we can scale all of these transactions. Really looking forward to Schnorr and other privacy features that will, eliminate that side where people keep saying how Bitcoin is too slow and it's not anonymous at all. And I'm really looking forward to things like Ethereum finally, imploding and going away. Giving people an understanding of what it is to have an immutable blockchain. But I see the world of all these altcoins going away, and the faster that happens, the better off the whole world will be.
Saifedean?
I think, what I look forward to the most is Bitcoin confirming a new block of transactions every 10 minutes. As long as that happens, Bitcoin is continuing to win, and there's nothing that the haters can do. So that's really what I care about the most. In terms of the developments on Bitcoin, they'd be nice to have, but I'm not particularly, I'm happy with Bitcoin as it is. I don't think it needs to make major changes. I think it's proven as it is.
Bring 10 people into crypto, okay? Go to your friends, your neighbors, give them a few coins. The only way we scale is if we have a few 100 million people in this.
All right, we may not agree on everything, but great to see you all again, and hope to see you again in the future.
So that's it from Hong Kong, from Token2049, and from all the projects in the space. I'll see you again next week. Until then, I'll be on Twitter at CryptoManRun, and you should trade well, my friends.
Crypto Trader is proudly brought to you by eToro. Discover a simpler way to trade and invest in cryptocurrencies and more.